Hello everyone. Thank you for watching Astroreader PH. It's been a while since I've done astrology and I'm glad to be back. So today you're watching the general reading for all the signs for the week of October 25th to 31, 2021. And the first point that we have to go through is Saturn and Jupiter have finally gone direct last week in the sign of Aquarius. And with them, they brought along Mercury in Libra. So all of these planets went direct in the span of about a day or two the past week. The overall feeling of this would be it's like a full speed ahead energy in our personal and professional projects. Our social life may improve. We may find ourselves meeting more people than usual, having more interpersonal relationships. And if we had any unsettled issues, maybe with our close relationships, last week may have been the beginning of the untangling of these issues. So it's overall a good energy, though it can be a little bit tiring because when the planets go direct, they kind of require us to give a push as well. Give some effort because, they're trying to get things going. So we have a hand in that too. The inner work may conclude for us for the past months. In the past months, we've gone a little low profile or started introspecting. We did our inner work. We became more private and we kept to ourselves. But now, it's time to go out again and do external work. It's time to start on those projects. It's time to put more effort in your work, in your careers, in your goals, in our in our professional pursuits. This can also apply to our personal projects. Our personal projects in the material sense. That is, if you wanted to get healthier, maybe. After all, the body is also material. This can be a good time to start. Though that doesn't discount the possibility that some people may have had some success in being more healthy, perhaps, in the past few months when all these planets were retrograde. That's also possible. But it's just more probable for us to succeed when the planets are direct. So this is a good time to start things. We feel less stagnant, and there's more forward movement for us. We're no longer that stuck. We may find that things are moving more now. And there's not really much time to spare regarding brooding or introspection or reflection. All systems go. That's the energy. This is an ongoing process, It just begun last week, so we're just seeing the beginnings of this. It's not yet over. We'll see this more as the months go on. These projects, these forward movements, progress, these will gradually continue in the next couple of months. Next, another important point is the sun will be entering Scorpio this week, or has already entered, just entered as I speak. It used to be in Libra, but now it's in Scorpio. Here, we may have some deeper connections, or want to have some deeper connections. The connections are of the soul to soul type, not the mind to mind type that Libra has. Libra is a very social sign, but it's not particularly a very fond of deep connections. Not always, unless the Libra person has particular Scorpio planets. Libra in general tends to be less intense and prefer more surface level kind of connections. Unless, of course, there are other factors in the chart. So now, with the sun in Scorpio, we're gonna be experiencing some more intimate and all or nothing connections. We'd want to go deeper into our existing connections. What's this person's secrets? What are this person's fears? Those kinds of things. We'll want to ask those questions to those close to us. We'll be looking at the darker side of relationships. We may deal with darker feelings like jealousy, possessiveness, envy, greed. May feel a little heavy or dark this month. But that's just Scorpio energy for you. Scorpio isn't content with the superficial, wants to go deeper. It's also interested in these things: psychology, the occult, secrets, and horror, taboo, dark things. It doesn't want to feel shallow feelings. Wants to go deep and feel those intense feelings. Wants to feel alive. Wants to feel the rush of its blood. That's Scorpio energy. Mars in Scorpio will be joining soon, towards the end of this week. So that's a little more Scorpio energy coming soon. This is just the beginning. And Mercury will come later, at early November, around early November. Of course, since we're talking about Scorpio, we also have to watch our debts, our taxes, and spending. We may experience more shopping sprees this month. We may feel an insatiable feeling of wanting certain things and not having the money or the resources to get them. So those are typical Scorpio experiences, Scorpio season experiences. We may experience more of those this month. You have to watch out for mind games as well. While a little tit for tat or diplomatic interactions, social maneuvering is common with Libra energy, gets a little more intense with Scorpio. They tend to go more psychological in their attacks. I wouldn't say attacks, but interactions. Mind games. Those are typical Scorpio events too. Scorpio season events. Another important part of this week event is Mars is powerful this week. At around October 27 to 28, Why is that? It's because, as you can see, there's a T-square during that time. A T-square is when 3 planets or more make this configuration. First, an opposition between 2 planets, and that opposition forming 2 squares to another planet, forming this sort of triangle, as you can see. And the most important part of these T-squares are the ones at the top, the apex, as they call it. With Mars being the apex of this particular T-square, Mars sort of is the most powerful part of this T-square. It will act as some sort of funnel for the energies. So all the energies of Pluto and the moon, this is Pluto and this is the moon, will all be sucked up by Mars. That's how T-squares work. So we have one of those for a short while over these days, October 27 to 28. And with Mars strong in those days, we'll see some Martian emphasis. We're gonna have more physical activities. We're gonna have some more arguments and more conflicts. On a worldwide scale, I feel like things can get a little more heated this week. We already have some issues brewing between certain countries and certain factions that are trying to start some sort of conflicts. We even have some volcanoes this week. It's a pretty Martian energy manifestation. So this energy can also be productive, but you have to channel it properly. Okay? Just as with all astrological transits, it's not always bad. I mean, it may seem bad at first, but what matters is actually what you do with it, how you channel this energy. And with difficult energies like this, with hard energies like that, these can be capable of a lot of achievement if you channel them properly. Okay? So maybe we can find some positive expressions for this Mars. Mars in Libra. Maybe, if we properly use it, we can achieve a lot in terms of getting others to cooperate with our way, or finding a common ground. There doesn't always have to be conflict, you know. That's why I advise that you count to 3 before getting mad this week, particularly in these times. You should have patience when dealing with people. Additionally, this can also translate as mind games, because Mars in Libra tends to express itself in the relational sphere. So with Mars there, it can be a bit pushy. And with the Sun transiting Scorpio, we are more prone to having these mind games. So we can find ourselves being in the middle of a mind game, or using mind games in order to get our way, Mars in Libra, from other people. Anyway, this is a somewhat stressful event, and it will move on, carry over until the lunar quarter in Leo, which will happen in a day or so after. So, the middle of our week is a little bit challenging for all of us. We just have to have some patience and get through with it and not try to engage in the mind game so much. You know, you always win by trying not to be as toxic as possible. When you go toxic or choose the negative path, the negative choice, that's when difficult things happen for you in general. Next, we discuss the moon's movements. This week, the moon will be in these signs: Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Gemini for October 25th to 26th, Cancer for 26th to 28th, Leo 28 to 31, and Virgo 31 onwards. Leo will be a lunar quarter this time with the moon in Leo. When the moon is in Leo, can be a little more stressful or restless. Usually it's harder to sleep around lunar quarters. It's harder to relax and find our comfort level because the moon rules our comfort, what makes us comfortable. So when it's stressed like that, like in lunar quarters, can feel a little uncomfortable. When the moon is in Gemini, around 25th to 26th, we may focus more on communicating, on writing, with errands, with studying, documents, thinking, and practicing our skills. The usual Gemini road things. When it's in Cancer, we may find ourselves going low profile, focusing on being with our close circle, in our home, exploring what makes us feel alive, our passions, our comforts in life, like our comfort food. We may find ourselves eating more during this time. We may feel a little more emotional or wanting to, or feeling a little grumpy. We may talk to our mother or spend more time with her, or maybe at least just think more of her. And our home, forgot to put that here. Our home too. So, when the moon is in Leo, which will be on 28th to 31, we'll have more fun. We'll try to have more fun. We'll focus more on playing games or doing our hobbies. We may think or focus more on our romantic life and maybe try to date, find someone to date. Or if we're creative, we may focus on our art a little more. But as previously said, this will be a lunar quarter, so it can have its challenges this week when we try to achieve these things, to focus on these things. When the moon is finally in Virgo, we will focus more on work, on our tasks, on productivity, on our health, and conserving what we have and fixing what's wrong. So, if we've been a little too extravagant, or if we've eaten a lot during the times of Cancer and Leo, if we've partied too hard, or in any way became a little excessive, Virgo time is when we will try to sort it out. This may be the time when we're hungover or just wanting to straighten out what we've done. It's a good time, usually, Moon in Virgo, to go on a diet or start saving money, a savings plan. Those are the kinds of things we can find ourselves doing when the moon is in Virgo. And if you have problems at home, things that are broken, this may be the time that we find ourselves fixing them. And finally, I just want to put out a general word of precaution there, that everyone should be careful right now until November, because things may get a little bit intense. So it's best, to just stay safe. I hope I'm wrong, but there are events going on now behind the scenes that are leading up to December 2021. This is due to this transit, Saturn squaring Uranus. I'll probably make a video on that some other time. But here, I pasted an example of one way that this energy is playing out. Like, as of now, I think we have 2 or 3 volcanoes that are currently erupting. That's the kind of intense manifestation of these energies. So, up until November, I think we should all be careful. I'll discuss why, the astrological reason, some other time. And that's it. General overview for all the signs for this week. Thanks for watching Astroreader PH, and I'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Bye now.